So I've had a couple of students ask, where do I find design inspiration? And I think it's personal for everyone. So my question to you is, what inspires you? Do you look at blogs? Do you visit museums? Do you like to travel? Nature's a great source. I know a number of you are very crafty. Some of you are typophiles, and fashion is always a great resource. And let's not forget, let's look back at history. One thing that I know is that I know inspiration when I see it. So that means you have to look for it. In this short video, I'm going to show you a photographer. He isn't photographer by career-wise. He just took a hard right turn and changed everything about his life. The blog that he created is called Humans of New York. Take a look.
What I'm looking for is a story, always looking for a story. And you'll find that the stories in people's lives, the ones that are the most meaningful and impactful and interesting, tend to revolve around a certain emotion, whether that be extreme anger, extreme fear, extreme sadness, extreme happiness. Can I get one with you looking here? Yeah, just like that. I've taken over 5,000 portraits of people around New York City, and I find out a little bit about everyone I photograph. Do you remember the saddest moment of your life? What is your greatest struggle right now? What would you say about your perception in particular has changed the most from the age of 21? I was traveling around the different cities just doing photography, and I was naming my collections of photos just on my personal Facebook page after my first impressions of the city. Philadelphia was bricks and flags. Pittsburgh was yellow steel bridges. And then I got to New York, and I just remember my first impression was all the people. And so I just named it Humans of New York. Now that Humans of New York has become much more about storytelling in addition to the photography, I look for people that I'm able to talk to.
Saddest moment of my life, when my father left. Him and my mom were never married. She was the other woman.
Somebody's willingness to let me photograph them and willingness to tell me a story has nothing to do with the words I say. It all has to do with the energy I'm giving off. I'm not trying to get this quote to pair with this photograph. It might start like that, but then the moment I start talking to the person, that drops away, and it's just two people having a conversation on the street.
Average New Yorker.
I'm a Vietnam-era veteran, United States Army Field Artillery Operations and Intelligence, Staff Sergeant E6, Battalion Chemical, Biological, Radiological Warfare.
Hold on, I gotta write this down. You know, I feel very protective and very thankful to the people who allow me to take their photographs. If somebody does not have a pleasant experience, if they contact me before I put the picture up and say I changed my mind, I never post. And if they contact me after I put up the photo and said I changed my mind, I always remove it. I like that. Is there anything that you just told me that you don't want me to share?
You can share it.
I like your story. Let's look at your picture, see if we did. Yeah, it's a great shot, man.
Cool.
It's kind of epic. My man. Dude, thank you so much. That's a great story. Your picture will be up in like the next 2 or 3 days.
What's the name of the website?
Humans of New York. As compared to other places on the internet, I think Humans of New York has a very, very kind of warm-hearted, very supportive, celebratory tone to it. Hi.
Can I ask you for a quick...
Yeah, sure.
All right.
All right, you taking it? And then tell me your name.
Edward.
Edward, okay.
Yeah,
all right, ready? Hey Rachel, this is Brandon from Humans of New York. I'm here with my man Edward, and we just want to say happy birthday.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
No problem. Have a great day. Thanks, Edward. One thing that, always kind of makes me smile is when people write to me and say, all the time now I'm walking by and I say, oh, that's such a honey moment, or that's such a honey picture.
So one thing you should also know about Brandon is he raises millions of dollars to end forced labor in Pakistan. So he's pairing his passion for photography with a passion for doing something good. So let me tell you a little bit about where I find my inspiration. Historically, in the last number of years, I've been a runner, and as I run, I observe. And your phone camera is the perfect tool for collecting creative inspiration on the fly. For example, Regardless of what your intention is, all artists need to constantly be in search of this creative inspiration to be successful in their craft. So I want you to really start paying attention and learn to flex your creative muscle. A great tool to help you do this is a sketchbook. Design is all around you, and Mother Nature is an incredible resource. For example, in this cloud formation, I see a man with a bun, a seahorse, a bird flying with these 2 eucalyptus leaves on sand. And I should tell you now, I see eyes everywhere. Everywhere I look, I see eyes looking back at me. Here is these very tall sunflowers. I want to say they stood at least 7 feet tall. And it just looked as if they were looking at me and cheering me on in my run. Once again, I see 2 eyes looking at me out of this wood fence. A cross on a naturally, organically grown tomato in our garden. And I just thought this looked really cool. It's actually an onion flower. So here's some words of wisdom from artists that have gone before us. John Singer Sargent: cultivate an ever-continuous power of observation. Wherever you are, be always ready to make slight notes of postures, groups, and incidents. Store up in the mind a continuous stream of observations from which to make selections later. And again, a notebook that you keep would be a great source to refer back to. Above all things, get abroad, see the sunlight and everything that is to be seen. And this is one of his famous portraits called the Portrait of Madame X. It was actually scandalous at the time because when he originally painted it, and this is a married woman, by the way, with the strap of her gown slipping off of her shoulder. He had to go back and recorrect it because it was seen as scandalous. Marc Chagall, one of my favorite artists, born in Belarus, he was a Jewish painter, printmaker, poet, and designer. His artistic styles he is associated with are Cubism, Symbolism, and Fauvism. His wisdom, words of wisdom to us is, if I create from the heart, nearly everything works. If from the head, almost nothing. Here's an example of his work. It's called I and the Village. Cubism is the style that is stressed here, and by looking at its abstract structure. I just love this. I love the colors. I love all the little stories that are being told in segments as your eye flows through the arrangement. And then, of course, we have Salvador Dali. His advice is have no fear of perfection. You'll never reach it. I think that's great advice. Get over yourself. If it's not perfect, just keep working. Now, Salvador Dali was from Spain, and his periods or genres would be surrealism, dreamscapes, cubism, and modern art. And of course, we're all familiar with this painting called The Persistence of Memory. Many people refer to it as time or clocks, but it's actually called The Persistence of Memory. Michelangelo said, I saw the angel in the marble and carved until I set him free. So don't just see things for what they are, see them for what they could be. We all know probably that Michelangelo was an Italian sculptor, but he was a painter, architect, poet, and an engineer during the High Renaissance. This is the David that he sculpted out of a large piece of marble. And I'm showing you that inset picture for scale so that you can just see how large this actually is. Now, I've seen this in Florence, Italy, and it is magnificent. The marble looks so real, and the carving is, I mean, it's just magnificent. If you ever have a chance, you should see it. Again, Michelangelo was also a painter, and this is the ceiling on the Sistine Chapel. The creation of Adam is this panel. And again, magnificent. I've also seen this in the Sistine Chapel, which is in Rome. Pablo Picasso wants us to know inspiration does exist, but it must find you working. So creativity is intentional. It must be intentional to work. Salvador Dali's periods include Cubism. He had a blue period, a rose period. So, and those reflected certain emotions that he was experiencing in his life. And this is a large-scale mural, which is found in the museum in Madrid called the Reina Sofia. I have seen this also. It's called Guernica. It's his most powerful political statement, and it's his reaction to the Nazis devastating or bombing a small Basque town of Guernica during the Spanish Civil War. I also am showing you an inset here so that you can actually see the scale. This mural is enormous. It takes up an entire room in the museum. And I want you to just take note. It's all done in grayscale. Henry David Thoreau wants to remind us it's not what you look at that matters, it's what you see. So flex your creative muscle. It takes practice. Look at objects from different angles, in different lighting, up close. Really study objects. So although he wasn't a painter or sculptor, he was, of course, the famous author, and his two most noted works are Walden, or Life in the Woods, and Civil Disobedience. A great thinking man. Henri Matisse, creativity takes courage. So dare to be different. Henri Matisse was a French painter, sculptor, printmaker, designer, and he was a writer. In this particular painting, we're seeing an older Matisse, or painting, photograph. He could no longer see well. He was burdened with an eye ailment in his older age. And so he took to using scissors and paper to create his art. He created this new art form called cutouts. And this is the blue nude. He called it painting with scissors. And he said, only what I created after the illness constitutes my real self, free and liberated. Here's another one of his painting with scissors cutouts. It's called The Snail. Do you see it? Remember, you have to look for it. Andy Warhol. They always say time changes things, but you actually have to change them yourself. So what I would say here is convention is good, but it's not mandatory. So dare to think outside of the box. Be different. Take risks. Andy Warhol, just in case you don't know, is an American artist. And he was a leading figure in the visual art movement known as pop art. And here's one of his more famous pieces called The Gold, Marilyn Monroe. He painted this soon after her tragic death. Or should I say, silkscreened it. And finally, we have Steve Jobs. Again, he was an artist of a different kind. He was a thinker. And he said, the ones who are crazy enough to think that they can change the world are the ones who do.